But anyway, with that conversation, I guess that now that it has occurred, there is no transition. It is time for us to talk about Gurthang versus Probe 2.
Yes, yes, it
so
is.
as you guys saw yesterday, they played on Legacy of the Void. They played a PvP and a PvT. They do the same for this one. And, Probe took it pretty... he took both games, but they were close. It was kind of a matter of definitely Probe seeming to have a little bit better micro, the Gurthang, and Gurthang kind of needing to up that up. So technically about 2 weeks of time, I think, between that match and this one.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm actually pretty interested to see if Gurthang was able to improve his odds at all.
Yeah, it should be really cool to see kind of the, 2 weeks evolution, if that. But those last few games were really, really close. They were awesome, actually. They were great to watch.
Yep.
So.
And don't be deceived by the borders you see here. If you were to face these guys once the actual game is released, Gurthang would probably be about plat, probably about diamond.
Right. Yep, they're both gold and silver here, but it's, yeah.
New game. New game, new ranks.
New game, new ranks, MMRs reset, all that good stuff.
But your mechanics don't change.
Nope. Nope.
Is this game 1?
This is. It said game...
No, it's not. It should be game 2.
Yeah.
Because that was the optional game 1 that they sent me was a PvP.
Right. Does this look right then?
Yeah, seems fine to me.
Okay, alright, just making sure.
I was confused because I think they played that one on this map as well. So I was like, wait, what?
Right. Okay. So let's get right into it then, shall we?
Game resumed.
Okay. So, in the bottom left part of the map here on Moonlight Madness, we have our red Protoss player. It is Gurthang.
And his opponent's spawning the top right-hand corner of the map. The teal Terran player this game, it is Day9's Probe.
So apparently they had some lag issues right off the bat, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yep.
It happens. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that sometimes. And we are in Legacy of the Void, so the builds are going to kind of take shape pretty quickly. And I know some of you guys may not necessarily play as much Legacy of the Void, so I can give you kind of an idea of what I mean by that. Pretty much you start off building a pylon, and a supply depot if you're on the Terran side, right away. Or within the first unit being built. It doesn't have to be 100% immediately. And then you go into things like gateway and gas. You don't really need to build up that first 6 or 7 workers that you would normally get beforehand.
Right.
So that really cuts out a lot of time, which means that we're not going to have a lot of chance to just kind of BS through this.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, actually.
It's going to ramp up.
Yesterday we were casting their games from Heart of the Swarm, and there was an unusual amount of time before before everything actually took shape. It's going to be interesting to get used to there.
It is, and I think we'll be able to do it pretty easily. I mean, you've casted Heroes of the Storm games with COVID as well, right?
Oh, yeah,
It's more like that. It's like you get maybe 30 seconds or so to talk about something basic, and then there's something to cast all the time.
Yep.
And pretty much Legacy of the Void is very, very similar. Okay, so far we have Gurthang going for a fast expansion build. These are pretty common. Even if you're going for aggressive builds, they usually tend to have at least a Nexus behind them, just because you can. Like, there's no reason not to, basically. There are very, very thin one-base timings that you can do in theory, but they're a lot tougher to pull off. Because you don't have a very big window before you just kind of run out of money.
Yep, Probe's going straight up. He's getting a Reaper here. Got a barracks and a factory behind that.
Lets him in. Has the wall set up to block the scout. Technically, you can't do that on this map, by the way, but you can always just enter by the back.
Ooh.
Guess he doesn't want to see anything else. Like, I guess he got a good enough look at the base. But anyway, so far in Probe's base, we have a factory going down, and it looks like a tech lab. Is he going fast stim? Still kind of late on his expansion. We should see him pick one up either way, but this is a little bit unusual. Reaper causing some trouble in the main base back over at Gurthang's side of the map. And the thing is, this is usually not that big of a deal if you go for an opening that gets a pretty quick adept. He will come out and kill it, but it looks like he wanted to defend with simply a mothership board. You know, that does happen, but he did lose a few workers in the process.
And he burned some energy there, unfortunately, on the photon overcharge. You got to be kind of careful with that conservative. I mean, you can you cast that on several different pylons, but yeah, it goes through real quick there. But top of the map.
As the top, yeah, at the top of the map we have a pylon. Sorry, I don't know what I mouthed it there. There's also, I was about to say, the mothership core actually casts photon overcharge at 25 energy. This is something they're thinking of changing in the final game, might go up to 50.
Oh, that's definitely going to be more.
What this means right now is like anything lands in your base, it's going to get photon overcharge. At all. It always has energy for it.
Oh, fade low blow. It's like casting a Heroes of the Storm match, but it's more interesting. Oh, snap! Oh.
Well, it's probably another way to put it might be that it's slightly easier to follow. One of the things that happens in Heroes of the Storm is that you can have battles occurring in 3 separate places simultaneously, and the casters have to jump between them really quickly, or in some cases just accept that they can only watch one thing happen. And that means you miss stuff. And there's just no way around that.
Yeah, but it's easiest to highlight one thing at a time, unfortunately. So here we go. Stem's almost complete here for Probe. We got a robotics... Ooh, a little bit of lag there. Robotics facility coming out for Gurthang. And he's going to drop these rocks. Doesn't want to get surprised.
Roboted a little bit on my end. I'm not really sure who that was, though.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah. Got the medevac coming in here. He doesn't have a pylon up yet, so he actually has literally 0 defenses here at all. That's another thing that seems a little bit weird in this. I mean, he's starting to burn probes left and right here. He's actually going to take out half the normal. And I think that's going to make it so that despite the fact that Probe's expansion is extremely late, he's going to be in a pretty even position with Gurthang going forward. I don't like this attempt to move forward and engage here. I think it actually would have been better if he tried to maybe run up, hit once, and then go back to the pylon. He probably could have saved the mothership core. But in any case, it does seem like he's going to drive him off. The single medevac does not really cancel out the Adept's healing, by the way, on the Marine, if you notice that.
Yep.
The Adept just 2 shots it anyway.
Did notice that.
Much damage.
It was a good move by Gurthang, pulling those Adepts up there, too, up to the ramp. It really shut down Probe. He really didn't get into the meaty, mineral line there in the main base. He did lose some into natural, but still in good shape. And, he's got a proxy pylon, so can't argue with that.
Pretty much, it's one of those things where until the, upgrades come into play, combat shields is actually an incredibly important upgrade, because it causes Adepts to go from 2-shotting Marines to 3-shotting them.
Right.
Regardless of whether or not the medevac is there, basically. Which is, yeah, it's a weird thing, but it's a different thing from Heart of the Swarm and Wings. Anyway, here comes another drop, and I think this is a pretty good move. He's seeing that his opponent seems to have a very hard time reacting to this. One of the things that's happening here, that Gurthang is basically overinvested his defenses at his natural. He should probably have had the mothership core up here in the base. So once this drop actually occurs, he would have pylons to defend. I'm a little bit surprised that Probe is dropping out here. Does he want to break down the rocks, maybe?
I don't know. He could drop right in the main base. He could pick off this robotics facility before it goes anywhere. I don't know. Oh wait, here he goes. He's picking back up. He's going straight in for it. Oh, this is gonna hurt so bad.
He's gonna drop in there, and he's gonna find a cannon that's sitting here right away. Looks like he wants to try and focus on the robo facility. He probably won't get that before this warp prism comes out. The warp prism is gonna come out and it's going to go toward the back of the base. So this is pretty important, basically, to Gurthang's plan, is it now looks like he wants to go for a forward gateway push. You'll notice he doesn't have an actual gateway next to this pylon, so that means everything warps in here at 16 seconds instead of 2.
Right.
So what's nice about the warp prism is that it doesn't have to follow that rule. All it needs is this warp field will always warp in everything in 2 seconds. So kind of, you could say, the legacy to avoid modern-day gateway push is really heavily reliant on either that warp prism or that gateway pylon combo. Unfortunately, however, Gurthang's just not really pulling his defenses together. He's got a lot of unused resources. Really, both players do. And I think in another game, he would probably be more than set up to defend this. More than set up to defend this. But unfortunately, he's not. His macro is just not really keeping up here. Now this secondary push at the front of the base is probably going to do an incredible amount of damage, apparently, in this gas base.
Terrible damage, Omega. Moving in here, Widowmine's going down. Oh, taking out so many probes, so painful. Down to 16 now on that base. Marauder's going ham on the Nexus here. And, oh man, yep, Nexus gonna evaporate.
Can't hold the natural. He's gonna go with this backup. We'll go with this plan of his to attack the back end, but as you can see here, there's 2 Marauders in there already, and the rest of the reinforcements come, and it's already too much.
Gurthang's push is shut down pretty handily here, and I mean, Probe can just walk his army in now, and he's only got 3 Stalkers, and there's a Warp Prism here, but it's just, there's not a whole lot. He's pulling the boys now. Probe's coming in.
You got no choice with that, and I really like this move from Probe, to just simply pick up all his stuff and leave. Just be like, no. If this is all you have, then I don't even need to be here anymore. He does have an expansion up now, but Probe should actually expand again, if he really wants to maintain this advantage. He keeps damaging his opponent's worker line over and over again, so he's actually going to be able to mine from the natural for quite a bit longer than Probe, who's basically been unharassed, but his main's going to mine out. Actually, they're probably in equal situations because he took it super late. Nope, the only difference is this army supply. 51 to 21, that's just huge.
Super painful.
Huge advantage in power.
Gurthang's bleeding out here. He's got a very small amount of units, and all we need is Stim. Stim's just going to go down. Yep. There goes. Adept's just poof, gone. Photon overcharge going down on this pylon, but it's really not going to help out too much. Going to take out 1 Marauder, but more medevacs and reinforcements here for the Terran player. Oh, he's going to try the Warp Prism is in a bad spot.
That probably could have actually run all the way to the base. I wonder why he brought it back. Maybe it was just on the hotkey group.
Totally possible.
Not much function here.
There we go.
And I think that's pretty fair. He's looking at a situation where he probably couldn't come back. But at the same time, we look at his resources. 700 minerals, 900 gas. I think he definitely, if he could have gotten his production together, he probably could have held that.
Probably. I mean, you know, oh, and there were opportunities for counterattacks too. Like you said, Probe pulled his whole army away from the base, and if the Warp Prism was across the map, just picking at the natural while he wasn't back there to defend, that would have been great. But I don't know.
At the very least, might have convinced him to go home. Who knows?
Stim hurts, though. I mean, he could have just chosen to push in and end it right then, too. So, it's hard to say. But, Gurthang dropping map 1. See how he fares in game 2 here versus Probe. This one's going to be on Terraform.
Yeah, we're looking at game 2 here. So, I'm not really sure what was going on there. Maybe they were just... Maybe that lag he was talking about was really getting in his way. It's easily possible. This stuff can happen, you know? Especially when you're playing with somebody in another country.
Right.
That's just the case here. Even if it's just US and Canada, sometimes you get server issues.
Possible. Ooh, Terraform. This one reminds me of Neoplanet S, if anybody was around in that season.
Yeah, very circular and spinny, except Neoplanet S had those, like, low ground golds in the middle.
Yep. And there weren't any vision blockers there. So cool.
Very structurally similar, but different map at the same time.
It's swirly. It looks like a toilet.
Okay. Probe is saying that he's got a lot of lag. Gurthang is saying he's not getting any. He's like, nope, I'm not eating you. So, yeah, who knows what this was about. I mean, it could be something as simple as this particular day. I mean, he's got Canadian internet. Maybe everyone decided to download something in the neighborhood. That's simple.
Somebody on this internet, you know, torrenting porn on his network. It happens. It happens.
His niece torrenting episodes of Dora the Explorer.
Oh, hey, maybe. I mean,
getting that piracy early.
Yeah. Gotta see those new episodes before they come out, right?
Yeah.
This went to a weird place, spawning us in the bottom right-hand corner of the map here. The red Protoss player of this game. It is Gurthang. Trying to tie up game 2.
Going for the double in gas setup, but yeah, in the top left we have his opponent, our teal Protoss player. I wanted to say blue for a second. It looks really close, but on my screen.
It's the same thing.
But it is in fact teal. Day 9 Probe. So as basically both of them using the same opening, by the way. Except it looks like Gurthang is going for a much faster cybernetics core. There isn't any particular reasoning for this. I mean, unless you wanted to go for a faster Nexus. It looks like... I'm trying to see if Probe did anything unusual. It doesn't really look like it. I guess maybe he's saving up extra money to get a faster Nexus.
This could be. He's dropped these.
No. Okay. I think he put his guy in gas a little quicker. He just didn't have as much money.
There we go. We kind of see Gurthang's hand unfold here, and there's Stargate coming down. So it should be an interesting mix-up.
It looks like he wants to proxy this very, very close to his opponent's base. And nope, wait, never mind. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's already being built in this base. But he's putting up a pylon up there, so I think he wants to go for a 1 or 2 base push of some kind. Can't really see much reason he would start setting this up this early otherwise.
Totally possible. He's going to move in and he's going to scout. He's going to check out what Probe's got. There isn't a whole lot here. There is his own Stargate, though, coming down for Probe.
So yeah, he sees that, and he's thinking his response is to go for that. I mean, one of the things you're always kind of... Not like a reassessment of my home doorbell.
Doorbell.
Yay.
Everything dropping a pylon, cheeky pylon there, right at the natural.
I'm not sure I like that very much. Like, there isn't really a lot of strategic value to having one that close. I would prefer it was back on this ramp up here. Because, yeah, he's just going to find that immediately. The only thing this is going to do is slow down any attempt at creating a nexus by, like, maybe 10 seconds. Maybe, I guess, it distracts from his back pylon. But I would imagine if he's putting it up here this early that he would throw down the gateway next to it.
Right.
Surprisingly enough, he didn't do that.
Be able to warp it
Wood Ray!
Wood Ray! You mean Skill Ray?
Yep.
Skill.
And his opponent seems to have been interpreting this early Stargate as a Phoenix play, and he's going in Phoenixes in response. Phoenixes actually beat Void Rays pretty hardcore in small numbers.
They do.
Like, they just don't take much damage from the Void Ray at all.
Glass Cannon, man. Glass Cannon is, that's word on the street for this Void Ray here.
Yep, it's not heavy either, so yeah. Anyway, he's got Stalker in with this as well, and looks like he's going to start damaging right away. What do we have in terms of defenses? 2 Phoenixes, Stalker, Zealot, plus a Mothership 4. He's got to get rid of that pylon right away, which means there's actually no on-the-ground defense. Well, he needs to get rid of it before it gets activated. But yeah, 3 Phoenixes, way too much, and he's being forced off. He actually should recall. Like, there's no way he'll escape, and he's trying to do it. Oh, loses the Void Ray, though.
Recall too late, Void Ray goes down. It's expensive, expensive. Gurthang's got a little bit of money in the bank, though. He's got Chrono dropped on that Stargate, in case he queues something up. Warp Tech? He does not.
For anybody who isn't immediately aware of this, like maybe you don't play Protoss, so you haven't been reading about it too much, the way Chrono Boost works in Legacy of the Void is you just put it on a structure and it keeps kind of like recasting itself on the structure. Like there isn't, you don't have to go back and do that anymore. So it's not a huge change, but it's a nice thing for anybody that used to struggle with like getting the warp gate timing correct. Anyway, the attack is now begun. There's very minimal defenses here yet again. There is a pylon that can help out here, and that does a lot of damage to these units, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anywhere near enough, as he can just reposition slightly up and start poking away at the Nexus.
The expensive paperweight loss here at 400 minerals, just down the drain, unfortunately. Gurthang doesn't have Warp Tech either yet, so I mean, it's going to be really hard for him to reinforce. He's going to have to queue him up in the gateways. I don't know if that was intentional or not, maybe to save some money for these Void Rays, but Phoenixes pick up the Stalkers. Picked right down.
Yeah, and again, we're looking at a situation, I think, where this defense probably would have gone a lot better if this particular pylon was actually the Nexus. If it was right there next to the Nexus, all this stuff is getting shot by the photon overcharge. The fact that you can't photon overcharge the Nexus anymore, I think ends up throwing a lot away.
You know, Mothership Core last did choose to spend that energy on that pylon again, but these Phoenixes just, they fly away.
Yeah.
Need to send her to that.
No, and this is a very frustrating thing that's always been true in PvP, is that if any one person gets a Phoenix advantage, it becomes a very, very difficult game. Like, it's very, very easy for PvP to turn into a Phoenix versus Phoenix match.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't do that as much in Heart of the Swarm was just the introduction of the Oracle. The Oracle is such a powerful option that, you know, usually you end up going into something else.
Yep.
You didn't necessarily see Phoenixes every game. And Photon Overcharge. Photon Overcharge helps quite a bit.
Gurthang finally starting research here on his Warp Tech. It's about halfway, a little more than halfway complete. He didn't have that for the last battle, but it's getting kind of dire here for Red Protoss. Probes mounting up at the front.
He does have double pylon defenses, but the Phoenix numbers, are they still growing? No, he's not building any more of those. He's switched to ground units and he's specifically grabbing Immortals. It looks like Probe is basically saying, I think he's going to build a lot of Stalkers in defense. I'm going to surprise him with Immortals and just mow his defenses down. But what's actually happening is he's warping in a bunch of Adepts as well. In particular, I think if he focused on Adepts primarily, he would be in great shape, but there's no way for Gurthang to do that without knowing whether his opponent's continuing to go into Phoenixes. The fact that he's attacking right now actually gives him a little bit of information.
Phoenix is being cheeky, picking up a couple probes here. Unfortunately, these pylons are not complete. Can't use those as turrets yet.
And there's just no, like, yeah, I mean, he has to keep an eye on this, because easy reaction for Gurthang right now is to just warp in more Stalkers. But that's not necessarily what he wants.
Right, unfortunately. And you don't want to waste that money yet. He's got so much to put into tech, but Warp Tech finally coming down. These pylons are touching this Nexus. It should be great for reinforcement warp-ins. I pick up a Phoenix yet.
Okay, looks like he's gearing for an attack. I actually do not like the idea of a probe attacking into this, because there's just going to be 2 activated pylons and he's fairly quick about it. Okay, he's moving his units into the defense. He isn't throwing down the pylon defenses. There we go. And just a lot of damage going down onto his army. I guess Probe is looking at this and he's thinking I have more than enough to push this back. Time warping thrown down on the back line. We have another pylon at the north, which is doing a lot of damage to military units, but there's just nothing on the ground anymore. It looks like for Gurthang, he's about to lose his final units, nothing but depth and a couple Stalkers. There's a few more warped in on the high ground. There's apparently a sentry blocking them from coming down. And now we have more Zealots being warped in on the back of this. And it looks like this force is just going to be a little bit too strong.
Oh, man.
Unless he, like, loses a bunch of things that he can't.
Painful here for Gurthang. I mean, this Nexus is just going to pick up his last line of defense, and they're cannons, but these aren't going to really help these Stalker against the Zealots.
No, I mean, yeah, pretty much the damage kind of stacked up there, and there was a little bit, again, a little bit of a, a little bit better micro on Probe's side there. He was able to get the attack started and start going after specific targets, trying to position things really quickly. But, there were some things like if the project gone down immediately, for example, that might have helped a little bit. But, yeah, now he's in a really frustrating position. He's lost his natural, and he's mining out at his main. So Gurthang basically is about to run out of money in a very permanent way. So whatever plan he has next, he's got to make this work. And, okay, he freezes half the Stalkers and the Immortal. This is actually giving him a good chance to do some damage to probes.
Here we go. Yep, good idea here. Be picking off these Stalkers, but unfortunately while that's happening, these Phoenixes are back here picking off the last couple probes that Gurthang has. And, man.
Oh, and by the way, 2 more Immortals walking in. Yeah.
Yikes.
This is rough. And yeah, he has no mining. I mean, even if he did, he has not a lot left. He has about 1,500 left, so he would have had maybe like another army's worth of stuff.
Yeah. Meanwhile, behind this, his opponent is expanding again. I mean, it's 96 to 21 supply in favor of Probe. And this is not a spot you want to be in, especially PvP.
Probe's getting a little bit lazy here with this setup. He probably should only put 1 gateway here, not 2. Put that back. If anything does go really wrong, you're over-investing in infrastructure in the spot. This is better off being a cannon than it is a gateway. But, it's kind of whatever at this point. He's so far ahead, it doesn't probably matter.
For minerals or whatever he wants.
Flying around the side. So, yeah, he put Phoenixes in position here, but this Oracle managed to slip past and is now going to go for the defensive line. There's basically no defenses here against this. So he's going to have to react very quickly and pull his workers out of there. 4, 5. Okay, he's just going to warp in defensively. Did lose a lot of workers, but this Oracle has to stay alive and has to keep doing this over and over and over again in order for this to work. It's possible in theory, but yeah, the Phoenixes are going to be called back, and they're probably going to hunt that thing down.
10 kills on an Oracle, and time is ticking there, unfortunately. Not a whole lot of energy left, and Gurthang's just trying to claw his way back into this. Like you said, the main is mining out now, and he can't really expand to that natural location again. Probe set up a contain.
For some Stalkers and gets away with it.
2 HP.
Barely.
Oh Jesus!
He says he sees now. There's that 3rd base there. I don't think he was aware of that until this point. And there's a large amount of units sitting there. It looks like Probe's going to take that as an indication that he should probably consider attacking his opponent soon. There's an Archon up here, which is a little scary, but not too much otherwise. And he found his pylon finally. And we're looking at 115 supply to 28 right now, and it's pretty clear that probe should take this, barring some type of catastrophe.
Barring some type of catastrophe, yeah.
He needs like a stasis mine or something. Ah, never mind.
Oh, he can't even poke into this. There's so many adepts here now. Dropping a force field, and the adept's gonna go right through it.
The adepts are going to flank. Or is he going for the mineral line?
Oh, man.
I'm not sure. Whoop! They're over there, though.
Well,
all
the
right,
probe takes
and
it
that's
to him.
that.
Cool.
A very interesting series. Actually, kind of feel like we didn't get to see both of our players at their best. I think it was being impacted by some weird technical problems. But you know what? That's fine. I mean, this is going to be moving over into the main game. One of the problems you have with the beta, basically, is that there's really only a handful of servers. Sure, it's nowhere near as strong as it is compared to normal BNet stuff. So hopefully they don't have that problem again in the future.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, Gurthang, he's got solid play. I just don't think we saw it there, unfortunately. Maybe, yeah, it could be the latency. It could be several different things.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, everybody has bad games from time to time, too. So it's... Bah! No, not a big deal. Anyway, we don't have either of them here in the chat, so there's nobody to interview. So that basically means we are done until later today, when we will be picking up with Crazy Chaos versus a Loopy-Loo, and that will be 1:30 or 2 p.m. PST. Remember, PST, folks. We have time shifted. And I'm going to call it that because it's cool. Not Time Splitters, though I've heard that that was a very good shooter.
Yes, so I've heard as well. Yeah.
Yes, I never played it though. Never played it. But anyway, yeah, there's that, and that'll be in East Coast time if you want that. That's like 4:30 or 5, I believe.
Yep, something around there.
You'll be ready by then.
I should be able to.
If we got to delay any further, you will find out on the various places that I update everything. So Discord, Twitter, whatever. In any case, we are done for a little bit.
All right, cool. We'll see you guys in a couple hours.